name is Mandy Potts. I'm a freshman music performance major and I live in Moyer.
My name is Kelsey Dolge. I'm a sophomore social studies education major and I live in Moyer.
Shannon Elliott. I'm a senior theater major and I live at South.
I live in Moyer, and our setup is that the bottom 2 floors are boys and the top floor is girls. Each student lives in what's called a quad, which consists of 8 students sharing 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, and a common living space.
All right, so the culture of Moyer is very unique. We have all sorts of people. We have music people, athletes, people who like to study, a ton of different activities that are represented in our dorm and on our floor. We get the privilege every year of living with 7 other people, which is something that I don't think a lot of people on this campus get to say. We're a very tight-knit hall, and you can pass from one room easily into the next without too much of a fuss. You know, my Moyer sisters were definitely the people that I made friends with first on this campus when I came here as a freshman.
Well, at South we have 2 different kinds of rooms. Each room has 4 students in them, and the first floor is males and the top 2 are females, and it's a lot of space and very nice, kind of apartment style living. And we kind of honestly stick to our own kind of rooms and stuff, but we have a lot of people who just enjoy having all the space that they have. I love it. Living with 4 girls has been wonderful.
Well, in Moyer, we do participate in Somewhat Como every year, where we get to have a barbecue and hang out with our brothers and sisters in South. There are also Sundays and Mondays at Moyer, where you can pass through the floors of Moyer and continuously build your Sunday until you get to the top. Once a quad, something called Hunch or Hall Brunch that the RA puts together, where each quad is responsible for a different portion of the breakfast. And there was so much food and it was so good.
South Smorgasbord this year, all my roommates, we wanted to make something for it, but we all were really confused about what time it started. And so I started something right when the event was supposed to start, and I thought that it was going on for 2 hours, and so my bread that I was cooking was going to be done in an hour. And then I found out that it ended before that, so nobody was going to be around to eat it. So I said, well, okay, we'll just have some bread. And then right at the end of the event, my roommate came in and made this dip, and I said, well, what are you making the dip for? And she said, well, I'm making it for South Smorgasbord. And we had all this food. We didn't have anything to do. It's really funny. We just invited all the people in the hall to come over and eat it.
I think it's very unique in Moyer that we have about an even number of seniors, juniors, sophomores, and freshmen. So every class is very represented, and I think it's interesting to watch how the seniors taking the initiatives they do and how that affects the freshmen.
Just being able to fellowship with other girls who have all sorts of different backgrounds of different denominations and upbringings. For me, it's really opened my eyes to be able to embrace other girls who are all Christians but may just have a slightly different background than I do.
We always have room for funny stories. One of my favorites was my freshman year, and she lived here the first part of my sophomore year too, but a girl named Chelsea was petitioning one of her roommates to see if she could stand on the wall without any feet on the ground and balance herself in between the hallway walls, which are very narrow. And she ended up putting a hole in the wall and invited all of us to come over and see it. Cleverly asked if FAFSA would pay for this.
God's been teaching me a lot this year about giving myself grace in everything that I do, and being able to say you can't do it perfect all the time, but you can do it the best of your ability.
I grew up being only one of 2 children, so I had my own bathroom, my own room, everything growing up. So when I came to school, I definitely had to learn how to be more patient with my roommates, and that I didn't always get entirely my own space. I don't know, I've become a better person because of it.
Dorm life has taught me to get along with lots of different people with different personalities and different backgrounds, and it's taught me just how we can share together and live together as sisters in Christ, and that's been a really valuable lesson for me.